Hey, I want to jump in here and talk a quick message about lack of motivation and those days that you're just feeling unmotivated. And I want to talk about what the driving force really behind that lack of motivation is. And so here's a little story for you, and I promise I'm going to bring this back around, so stick with me here a minute. But a couple weeks ago, I got up one morning and I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling like doing anything. I had, sitting on the couch, scrolling social media, went and got a second cup of coffee, just told myself I wasn't feeling too motivated that day. It actually texted, I think, my mom and told her the same thing. Just can't get motivated today. Don't feel like doing anything. Sitting here, having another cup of coffee. But I had a busy day ahead. I had a networking event I was doing at noon, a virtual networking. I had a connection call I needed to get on. I had a list of things I needed to get done, some client work. But I just kept telling myself I didn't have any motivation. And then I sat myself down and had a little pep talk with myself. And I was like, what really is the driving force? Why are you not feeling motivated? And the reality was, I just didn't feel like doing my hair. I didn't feel like doing my hair. I didn't feel like doing my makeup. I didn't feel like, quote unquote, getting ready for the day. I had been, getting ready for the past 2 days, and I just didn't feel like it. And so I thought to myself, are you serious right now? Like, why do you feel like you need to do that? What's driving that motive? Like, what's driving that thought? Why do you feel like you need to do that? And here's the thing, this story may seem a little menial to you, but I want you to really think about it. The reality here is that so many times I see it in myself, I see it in my clients, I see it in just general conversation, is those days that we're feeling unmotivated. There's another driving force behind it. And I would be willing to bet 90% of the time, the driving force behind that lack of motivation or anything of that sort is simply just that you're feeling like you should do something, or that you need to do something that you really don't want to do. And so going back to that same example, that same day I told myself, you know what? Your hair looks fine. You don't need to do your hair. I made sure it looked fine, but I didn't have to start from scratch. I didn't put on all my makeup, and guess what? Nobody noticed. And if they did, they didn't say anything, because the reality is, who would, right? We put that pressure on ourselves. I showed up. I looked professional. The message I presented was professional. The way I presented myself was professional. And it didn't really matter, right? Nobody knew that I didn't do my hair that day, even though I did, right? So it was more about the fact that I just didn't feel like doing something that I felt like I should. And so I want you to think about, if there is something that you're feeling like, usually this falls in line with procrastination or this lack of motivation. Really, is it truly lack of motivation, or are you procrastinating on it or unmotivated by it because it's something you feel like you should do that you don't need to do, or you feel like you need to do it but you really don't? And if that's the case, is there a way you can kind of, quote unquote, give yourself permission to not do it? And I think you'd be amazed at what happens when you give yourself permission to go about your day in a way that feels good to you and eliminate the shoulds, right? We live in a world, in a society full of should do, and you don't need to, right? And I just think that for me, it was a huge light bulb moment. Like I said, it seems so menial, like, oh my God, Michelle, you didn't want to do your hair? No, I didn't. But the reality is, it really was the bigger message, was that I was wrapped up in I should do this because XYZ says when you go to a networking event, you should do this. And this is not about working from home or looking less professional or any shape. This is about the fact that we put so much pressure on ourselves to show up in a certain way, to be visible in a certain way, when the reality is that is not what's driving people to do business with you, right? That is not what's going to make people know, like, and trust you. If you give value, and if you present yourself professionally, and if you show up with authority and you share your expertise, and you have a heart to serve and your passion speaks louder than anything visually, that's what's going to draw people into you. So, you know what? My message to you today is, if you don't feel like doing your hair, don't. And go have an amazingly productive day and be surprised at how much you truly can get done when you eliminate the pressure of the shoulds. Okay? Have a great day. Make it a great day. Go spend your day in the way that feels good to you and not with anybody else's opinion attached to it. All right? I'll talk to you soon.